Okay. So the last class, we have seen one example with the constructor, right? So for the connected callback, when it will happen, whenever the inserted or whenever the component is loaded, the connected callback gets executed. And if you wanted to refresh, then the render callback get executed. Error means error callback get executed. And the disconnected will be like whenever I kill the component on the component or on the model, the cross box is there, right? Either the cross mark or the cancel button. Whenever I click on this, that's how the disconnected callback gets called. Okay. So today we'll see one most important topic, which is today's interesting topic, that is PubSub. We'll talk about the PubSub. Publisher and subscriber. Subscriber, publisher and subscriber. So when I say PubSub, what is a PubSub? And when do we use it and how do we use it? Let me open the Paint. Okay. So let's understand what is the PubSub. So this is an application, the Ligtning application. And this is component. Let's assume that this is a LWC component and this is LWC some component, 3 component. Okay. So whenever 2 components, component 1 and component 2, whenever the 2 components within the application, within this application wants to talk each other, this LWC component want to talk to LWC3 component. LWC3 component, whenever there is any communication between 2 components within the small application, within the same application, the application level is same for both the components. Whenever one component wants to talk to another component, that means this is a publisher. This is a publisher. And this is a subscriber. This is one component, this is another component. Yeah. This is one component, this is another component. So whenever 2 components want to talk to each other, so this publisher wants to send an information to the subscriber. What will happen? How can I pass the information is, which is called as a PubSub. I have to introduce another component in order to talk to each other. These are parent component. This usually, if you have seen till yesterday, whatever I have shown, there is a parent-child combination, right? I was implementing the child component, and inside that and in the parent component I was calling it. But here, if you see, there are 2 components of parent component. One is called as a publisher component, another is called as a subscriber or the receiver. We can also call it as a receiver. We can also call it as a receiver. So in between, we need one more file. In order to communicate these two components, we need a one more file for us in order to share the information between the two components in the Lightning Web Component. There is no concept called component event, application event in LWC. In Aura, we have a component event and application event, right? So in LWC, we do not have any component event or application event. In LWC, there is an event or DOM event. So DOM events only works with the parent child, right? That we have already discussed the DOM event, which we were working on parent child. But here both are parent component. There is no child component. Both are parent. Component one is a publisher and this is a subscriber or receiver. And in between, to make the connection in between this, we need a one more file. So that is what which is called as the default Java PubSub. This is a default. Why it is a default? I will tell you. Default Java PubSub. Right? Assume that this is another LWC component too. So what it has to do is it has to enable the communication between these two by importing this PubSub within the LWC and within the second component by importing this JavaScript PubSub within the LWC1 and LWC3. What we can do, we can enable the communication between the two parent components. So whenever an event occurs in LWC1, then LWC3 will receive it. Right? So like as I mentioned in last couple of classes, I was calling one component inside other component. That means always second component is the parent, right? The first component was child component, which we were adding like C dash and the component name, if you remember. So we were adding the child component in the parent component, C hyphen the child component. In such cases, we are using the event dynamic or event declarative or event programming works. But whenever there is a no parent-child relationship, there is no parent-child relationship here. These two are the individual components. In LWC event, if I wanted to have a communication between the two parent components, there is no way to handle. So that's the reason Salesforce came up with a new concept called introducing a file called PubSub. Is a default program. When I say default program, we just have to copy paste the static data into our org. You need not to write anything. This will be available in Google also. The code will be available in the Google. So if you search LWC PubSub module, you will find a lot of examples. You can take anything. This is provided by the Salesforce. You need not to make any changes to this. You simply take it from the Google. You can get it from anywhere here, like developer PubSub, GitHub. In the GitHub, we have a PubSub. If you go to the LWC and here you see the PubSub.js, right? So this is the static code. You can simply copy this and paste it in your org. So that's the reason we call it default PubSub, default Java PubSub. And for this, we only have a JavaScript. There is no HTML. We do not write any HTML. no HTML, only JavaScript will be there. And just have to copy and paste it there. So the reason of using the PubSub is in order to make a communication between the one component to any other component, like from the publisher to multiple subscriber. So in order to activate it, we have to use the PubSub. So let me show you one example so that you will get the clarity. Okay, so here, let me create a new component, Control-Shift-P, create Lightning Web component, and create the PubSub JavaScript component with the name of PubSub. Just create PubSub, that's it. Yes, LWC. So the PubSub component is created, okay? And I have the code for this, which I copied it from the GitHub. So I'll just copy this. I'm not doing anything here. I'm just copying the existing code. I'm just copying the existing code and pasting it here. Right? So that's it. PubSub, that's it. So you just have to take it from the GitHub and store it here. But we have to understand what is the code that is written inside the PubSub. Right? So focus on the last function or last method, which is called as an export. If we understand these 4 steps, then this entire code will understand. How? I'll show you that. So register an event, right? This is a register listen. Register listen is basically whenever we wanted to register a communication. So this is for register. This is for register a communication. This is for register communication, and this is for unregister. In order to enable the communication, in order to unregister the communication between the multiple components or single component, we use the unregistered communication. And then we have a fire communication. This is a fire communication. And this is unregister all the communication. Let me explain one by one what is the each one does it. So for example, one component fires, okay? Here, let me write. Okay, that should be fine. So when I say, okay, so here it is. So there will be only one publisher. There will be only one publisher, right? But multiple subscriber can connect to the same publisher. Like I have a multiple subscriber, multiple components are there. This is a subscriber 1 and this is subscriber 2. When I say subscriber 1, subscriber 2 is nothing but these are the components. Okay. Right. And in order to make the connection in between these, there is a standard default Java PubSub. Java PubSub. How the connection will be? Connection will be publisher will be sending the communication to PubSub. Then PubSub will send the whoever is subscribing this particular publisher, it will send a multiple subscriber. That means one component fire and 5 other components or n number of component listening like parent, grandparent or whatever the multiple components. That is which is nothing but a unregister all. Like this is one of the option which we have a unregister all listener, right? When I say unregister all is nothing but if my multiple components are calling the same publisher, then as soon as I close one component, it should unregister all the communication between n number of subscribers. What are the subscribers we have? We can unregister everything at a time. Instead of doing the unregistered one by one, everything we can do it together. Like in Lightning Aura, we use register event and handle event, right? Whoever wants to fire an event, then they have to register the event. And whoever wants to fire, whoever wants to handle it, they have to write the handle event. So in LWC also same, whoever wants to fire it, they are the publisher. And whoever is handling it, they are called as a subscriber. But here, if for the PubSub, there is a no parent-child concept. It is a parent-to-parent concept. So we will pass the data to the PubSub. Then the one which we created, for example, LWC2 here or LWC3 is a pub. Here LWC1 is a publishing and there are 3 other components. Assume that other 3 components which are subscribing, receiving. So all 3 connection through the PubSub, right? Passing the data through PubSub. Now coming back to here, let's understand the register. Let me copy this. Let's go to the, okay. First, we'll understand this register listener. What is the register listener? What it does? So this is method inside the PubSub. When I say method inside the PubSub, if you highlight that part, you will see there is a one method which is called as a register listener, right? This method is used to subscribe to the event and store the information related to the events. It has a 3 parameters: event name, callback, this org. Right? These 3 are the one which will have to pass it. The first one is the event name, which has which it has to subscribe to. Like what is the event name? Like when I'm registering or when I'm firing the event, I'll mention the event name, right? So that is the name which is nothing but which it has to subscribe to. And the second one is callback. This one which has to be run when the event has listened. Callback is when I'm listening the event, that time it gets executed. And the third one is this argument. This is basically makes an entry in the events property. If it is not a duplicate entry which holds the information of the page. This is just to make sure that it is logging the entry in the event. Nothing to do with the development. We have to make sure that I'm passing the event name or not. So this is the name of event to listen for, right? And the callback is the function to invoke whatever we have set the file. So these 2 are important for the register event. Then coming to unregistered event is also a method. This method takes 3 parameters as an input, same as the register listener. Here it searches for the listener with the same information provided in the argument, and it removes it. These two are same. If you are registering it, you have to unregister. Both are having the common names, common parameter, event name, callback, this org. But if you have only one component which is listening, then you simply have to, or you just need an unregister to unregister that particular event. That's it. And then we have a unregister all, right? Unregister all is nothing but the method. This is also method which sits in the PubSub. What it does, it basically removes all the listeners, as I have explained previously. It removes all the listeners that are available in the, like we will mention the page reference, whatever we mentioned there. So if I have a 3 components, 5 components, n number of components, like what are the component it is calling, the subscriber is there, so it will try to unregister all of them. Next, we have a FireEvent. This is a very important FireEvent because we will be using this FireEvent, right? So this method takes 3 arguments. One is a page ref, event name, payload. The first one is a page ref of the page. Like page ref is nothing but, for example, usually what we do is we will put the component on the Ligtning app. In the Ligtning app, we will place it, right? So if I switch to the Ligtning, so wherever the component lies on the app page, for example, that is there in the account. So this page reference, I wanted to get the information. So that page reference, like if I'm putting the component in the Ligtning page, then we have to pass the page reference. On which page the component lies, it's kind of a that. So that it will understand from the backend on which component this particular the component is there, or which page the component lies on. And the second one is event name. As a string, this will be used by the subscriber component. This is again name of the event that we have to fire it. And payload, remember this payload because we will be using it for the payload. Payload of the event to fire. This is the data which we have to pass whenever we are firing the event. This is the data which we have to pass with the event. So basically it checks first if there is any listener registered in the event property. If yes, then it traverses every listener in the events property. And then it will do the callback method for the listener, which is the same for the page references also called. So usually the payload is passed an argument to the callback method, just to check whether if the page ref of the fired event and the listener are the same or not. It's like a same page reference. Just a second. Same page reference, like a page reference 1, 2, to compare the page references. So it's basically is going to verify whether 2 components are on the same page reference or different page reference. And how do I import this? Okay, before importing, this is what is entire code. If you look at this, the first thing is a register listener. Okay, this is the register listener. Then I have the unregistered listener. Then I have the FireEvent. Okay, and unregister all. So this PubSub, everything talks about the listener fire. That's it. So I'm done with the PubSub. There is no HTML, and no metadata. Nothing is required. Just a PubSub. That's it. So I'm done with this. Let me push this component to the develop, deploy this source to org. And now we will create a component and we will use this PubSub. And how to use this PubSub? There is a command called, we just have to use the import, give a name PubSub. And how do you import it? You have to import it from, it's a Ligtning LWC component, right? C colon C slash, then mention your PubSub name. That's it. This is the way you will import the PubSub. Or there is another way also. Another way is import. In PubSub, we have a different methods, right? RegisterListener, UnregisterListener, FireEvent. There are different methods out there. What I can do is I can directly call those methods. FireEvent and RegisterListener or unregister. So basically, whatever the method I needed, I can simply call that method here and register all listeners. And I can mention from where I'm going to do this, C slash PubSub. Either way, I can call it. Either I can directly import the entire class, or I can simply pick it up the methods from the PubSub. So this is the way we will do it. Let's go ahead and create a component, Lightning Web component. This is a PubSub underscore publisher, right? PubSub publisher. Okay. I'm going to implement the publisher. That means I'm going to implement this piece. I'm going to implement this piece. No, okay. So let's assume the scenario is, let's say there are two independent components. Okay, there are two independent components, component 1 and component 2. Two are there. Okay, like this is a publisher and this is a subscriber. This is a publisher and this is a subscriber. I have a two individual components. Okay. Publisher has an input field. Let's assume that publisher has an input field and it also has the button. Okay. So this inside the input field, where we pass the message, like, or we enter the message, hi, I'm the publisher, something. So we'll enter the message here. And then we'll click on the button publisher. This is the button which we will click on. Let's assume this button name is publisher. As soon as I click on the publish button, what it will do, it has to fire an event. That means when the publisher publishes the message, the subscriber is going to listen it and it will display the information here. And in between these two components, in order to establish the communication between these two components, we will use the standard Java default JavaScript, which is a PubSub. So this is the entire scenario. So what I need a pub and sub. Inside this pub, I need an input field and button. Okay. Let me go ahead. Let me implement the Lightning card. Lightning hyphen card. Right. And let's add the title. Title equal to, let's assume that I'm the publisher component. Right. Okay. Now, inside this Lightning card, I need input field and button. But before that, I'll add a div, and we'll add some class here to just margin, placing the margin. So in LWC, we can use the class, and inside this class, we have a Lightning design systems, right? The default SLDS design systems. You might be aware of those, right? If you go to the designing system, Lightning design system. Okay, I wanted to place a component in medium, or maybe padding. Or margin. Yeah. So let's assume that we use the SLDS, and I want all around a space. I want left side, right side, bottom, top, everywhere I wanted space. So we have let me take this. So this is the class. Let me put this instead of top. What I'll do is I'll just place around. Just give me, right? Okay. So this is the design system. I can use it. Whatever the component I'm adding in between the card, I want to have those input fields in the center. Means the margin, left, right, top, bottom, everywhere I wanted to add a medium space. So in that case, I can use the SLDS -m around underscore medium, so that it will be center. Now inside this div, let me add Lightning input. Lightning input label equal to message. Label equal to message. And I wanted to store the value in one variable. Let's assume that it is a message, right? On change. Whenever we are writing on change, let's call the function handle message change. Handle message change. Okay. Now, and also I can add, if I want any class to the input field, I can add it like same thing, class equal to. Again, I can add it to the Lightning input, right? Or if you want instead of around, if you want just a bottom, so what you can do, bottom. Let's say that I just need a small one, so you can use anything. So Lightning design system can be applied anywhere here, either Lightning input, div, anywhere we can apply it. Okay. And let me close this, and let's create a button, lightning hyphen, let's say button. Okay, so inside this button, my label name is publish. Okay, and let's add the brand color to the button. And on clicking of this button, I wanted to call it function, because we wanted to publish a message. Handle publish. Right. So this is my component, right? I just added an input text. I added some style classes because I wanted to add a space there. So I have used the Lightning design system to add the space to the Lightning input and Lightning button. And also we have created the for input message input. For that also I have added the bottom so that it will be differentiated between the button and input. Now, what are the things that I need in the JavaScript? First thing is that I need to declare a message. Let me declare a message. Let's say this is empty message, no value. And then I have to declare a handle message, change. This will be event. And I also have another function which is called as a handle publish. Handle publish event. Right. So these all things I needed from the HTML to JavaScript. Right. This is clear. So when this is basically whenever on change happens, anything, I wanted to capture the information. So let me capture the information and place it here. This dot message equal to, how do I capture the information? Event dot target dot value. Right? I'm capturing the information. This function logic is only for capturing the whatever user has entered. Now the real work comes here when we click on a publish. When we click on a publish, what should it happen? It has to call the PubSub. In order to call the PubSub, first we'll import the PubSub from c/PubSub. Right? So I have imported the PubSub. Now I can go ahead and use PubSub dot. See here, these all are it is giving me. PubSub dot. I have to fire an event. Let me go ahead and get the fire event. So this is the fire event. PubSub dot fire event. What are the parameters that I need here? From the PubSub, page reference, event name, page load. Okay, the first thing is the page reference I need. So page reference is basically for the PubSub to understand where this component on the page. For that purpose, we need a page reference. Okay, so in order to capture the page reference, first I need to import current page reference. I need to load the current page. Why it is not coming? Okay, current page reference. From where I wanted to do from. I just wanted to take directly from the Lightning hyphen the navigation. Lightning hyphen navigation. So I'm going to get the current page reference. Okay. So I can pass right now the page reference. I cannot pass here, right? So I have to use @var and inside this, let's pass this current page reference and put it into the one variable. Simply say that page reference. Okay. So where I have to add a wire here. Okay. Now this page reference, I can pass it here. This dot page reference. And the second one, event name. So event name is send message. Send message. And then I have the payload. Where is the payload? My payload is this dot message. This is the what I wanted to pass. Right? This dot message. And once I pass the information, then I'll set back the message, whatever it is there, equal to empty. Once I'm done with that, that is, I just needed to pass the information. As soon as I'm done with the publishing it, I wanted to make it empty. Fine. So this is one component, which is a publisher component. Let me deploy this source to org. Okay, fine. Now let's create another component that is for subscriber. Create LWC component PubSub underscore subscriber LWC. So in subscriber, I do not need much. I just wanted to show the message that is coming from the publisher, right? In order to show that, let me add lightning hyphen card and then lightning hyphen card hyphen card. Okay. Inside this card, title equal to, let's say that this is subscriber component, right? Subscriber component. Now inside this card, same thing, I'll just add let me add a div to add the space here. And let's say that H1, and I just wanted to display the message here, right? So I'll say that inbox. This is just heading inbox. Now, in order to show that, what I'll do is lightning. We have something called, if I wanted to show the message in the formatted way. So we have formatted. And let's assume that formatted rich text. I can show it in the rich text also. And what is the data that I wanted to show here? Value equal to message that is coming from publish. That's it. Whatever is the data is coming, I wanted to show it in the rich text format. So that's the reason I have used the lightning hyphen format rich text area. There are different formats is available. You can use those also. Right? This is undone. Let me go to the subscriber. Let me declare the message. I need to declare the message, right? That is used in the HTML. Okay, let's decide empty. Empty. Let's do empty. Okay. Now, the concept here in the subscriber is a bit different. As soon as the component is loaded, I wanted to call the event, right? As soon as it is loaded, or as soon as it is inserted, the component is inserted, I wanted to call the event, register event. So for that, we have to use the connected callback. We have a connected callback, right? So inside this connected callback, we need to implement the PubSub. So again, I need to import the PubSub from C/PubSub, right? No, I have no PubSub dot. So first thing is that register listener. Let me copy that. Register listener. What are the parameters it has, the register listener? 3 parameters: event name, callback, this arg, right? So the first thing is that event name. What is the event name that we give? Send message. Send message, comma. Then I have function, callback function. So for the callback function, let me implement another function within this. So that means this dot, I'll implement the handle incoming message. Handle incoming message. So this is another method, which is a call event, right? So this is a callback method. Now, after the callback function, then I have it this or. This or, yeah.
Swapna, sorry to disturb you. So I have a meeting at 7:30. So it will last for 7:30 up 7 to 7:30. Status
Okay.
meeting. Okay.
I'm almost completed. Just 5 minutes. Okay, I'll quickly complete this.
Okay.
So anything I can pass here, this arg. Now, whenever the component is done, then we have to implement the disconnected callback. Disconnected callback is to kill it. So inside this, what I'll do is unregister all listeners. Unregister all listener, then I'll say this. That's it. The component is done. Now here incoming message, what I wanted to do, I wanted to display that message here. So this dot message equal to message, whatever is coming. Here I'm passing the message. Callback one, it's getting the message, right? So the same thing I'm passing here. Okay, let me push this to deploy this source org. What is the problem? Okay, unregister all listeners. Let me add this page reference. Okay. and we'll add this wire. Okay, let's push this. Deploy this resource org. Okay, done. Now I'll go to the Lightning component, edit the page.
It's not exposed right in the template.
Sorry.
In
All
the
right.
HTML template, it should be true, right? It's not
Yeah.
exposed.
True. And the target. Lightning app page. Record page. Home page. Okay. Yes. This is a subscriber. Let's deploy this source to org. Let's go to publisher later. Shift P, deploy this to source org. Let's refresh. Okay, so first my publisher. Okay, so just a second, I'll show you the information. So the output will be like this: publisher component and subscriber component. If I say hi, this is publish component, right? And if I click on a publish, it is subscriber is going to listen and display this. So this is what the output. Fine. Yeah. So this is what we have implemented so far. Here some issue is coming up. I'll see that what is the issue, then I'll share the details. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Live message. Current page reference publish. This has to go up. Let me deploy this to source now. Okay, let me modify this. Okay, let's refresh. Let me go to the contact. Any page we can go, contact. Let's take the existing one and the edit page. Okay, let me drag here. Okay, let me drag subscriber. Okay, save. Activation. Yes. So let's go back. Right. So on the publisher component, so here it says that I publish component. Right, this is publisher. Then publish. It's not hitting it. Okay. What is the problem? Message. What is the problem? Is it coming here? Send message. Send message. Yes, maybe this is the problem. Okay, let me say Ctrl+Shift+P. Deploy this to source out. Okay, let's refresh. Let's do the hard refresh. Deploy this to source out. Sometimes it takes time in order to load it. Okay, deploy this resource. Let's keep the alert. Let's see. It should come. Not sure what is the problem here. Publish is not triggering it. Alert message is not coming. So it's not reaching here. RegisterListener. Okay, let me try finally. Yeah, it's coming. So even there is a single space also between the code, then it doesn't work. Hi, I'm the publisher component. Hi, I'm publisher component. See, it is coming. So the problem is here there was a lot of space that I gave. So sometimes what happens is space also it became the issue. So just make sure that your code format is proper, and do the Control A and just format the code. So that should be working fine. Okay, so the output is here, the publisher component I'm writing the details and hi, how are your subscriber? So as soon as I click on the publish button, it publishes the message and the subscriber component will is in the component. Fine. Yeah. Thank you.